She stepped in front of my truck the moment I turned into my own driveway, planting herself there like she owned the entire street. Her sunglasses were pushed halfway down her nose, arms crossed tight, wearing that manufactured confidence all Karens wear like a uniform. Before I could even climb out, she shouted, "Stay right where you are. My officers are on the way. You're trespassing on HOA property." I stared at her for a second, not confused by her accusation, but by the sheer nerve of it. There was no HOA in this neighborhood. Everyone knew that, everyone except her, apparently. She slapped a bright orange paper on my gate and declared, "This is an official HOA eviction notice. You are not allowed to enter your house until my officers clear you." "My officers?" I repeated slowly. She smirked proudly. "Yes, they work under me. They enforce the rules." I didn't argue. I let her talk, the way you let someone ramble before they walk straight into their own mistake. Deep inside, that old military calm settled in, the kind that shows up right before things go very wrong. Within minutes, a car pulled up. Two men stepped out wearing matching black uniforms, but their badges looked like something from a Halloween clearance shelf. Karen rushed to them like they were her personal cavalry. "That's him," she barked, pointing at me. "Arrest him. He broke HOA law number 4. One man squared his shoulders and marched toward me, hand out. "Sir, hands behind you." "Or behind what?" I asked, lifting an eyebrow. His posture faltered, and as his jacket shifted, I saw it clearly. No radio, no duty belt, no ID, nothing. "Just costume pieces." Karen barked again. "Do it. Arrest him now. I run this HOA and he has no right to step on this land." I stepped forward, calm and steady. "Ma'am," I said evenly, "you're making a mistake." She laughed sharply. "Oh, I don't think so. You have no idea who you're dealing with." A short pause. My voice dropped. "You're right. Because I really don't think you know who you're dealing with." The fake officers moved like they were trying to surround me. My hand brushed the real badge tucked under my jacket, the one that outranked every badge these pretenders wished they had. The taller man grabbed for my arm, but his grip was shaky, as if he was copying something he saw on TV. I didn't resist. I simply watched his hands tremble. Behind him, Karen stood, proud, convinced. She finally proved she ran the world. "See," she said loudly, "this is what happens when people think they can ignore my rules." My rules. That was all I needed to hear. She actually believed this fantasy. The shorter officer walked closer, pulling out a flimsy citation pad. "You're being fined for violating HOA code." "There is no HOA here," I replied. Karen snapped instantly. "Stop talking. My officers already confirmed this neighborhood is under my supervision." I almost laughed. Almost. But something in the taller man's eyes said he wasn't just faking confidence, he was terrified. Just as he tried again to grab me, a truck pulled up across the street. My neighbor, Mr. Jensen, 40 years living here, stepped out. "What on earth is going on here?" he demanded. Karen whirled toward him. "Stay out of this, Harold. This man is breaking HOA law." "My officers are handling it." Harold stared at her. "Karen, there's no HOA." "What officers?" The shorter guy panicked, shoving his fake badge behind his hand. The taller one backed up, but Karen doubled down. "They are officers. They work for me directly. And if he moves one step, they'll arrest him." I finally spoke, my voice quiet but sharp. "Arrest me? On whose authority?" Karen smirked and pointed at the tall man. "His." The tall man swallowed hard. He looked at me, then at her, then at Harold watching from the street. His confidence evaporated. I leaned forward just enough for him to see the badge under my jacket. The color drained from his face. He whispered urgently, "Ma'am, we need to go. Right now." Karen didn't move. "No, do your job. Arrest him." The tall guy shook his head. I can't arrest him." "And why not?" Karen demanded. His voice cracked. "Because his badge outranks mine." Karen froze. Harold gasped. The short officer dropped his plastic citation pad on the pavement, but Karen still didn't understand the storm she'd just walked into. Not yet. Because she had no idea what my badge actually meant, and she was only seconds away from finding out. Her mouth opened and closed as she stared between us. "Outranks." What does that even mean? He's just a regular homeowner. Do your job. The tall guy no longer even looked at her. His eyes stayed locked on the badge under my jacket, the one I slowly pulled into the sunlight. Karen leaned forward. That can't be real, she whispered. The short officer's voice trembled. It's real, and not just any badge. That's federal. Karen staggered backward. Federal? Federal? What? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Her hires were already unraveling. The tall one raised his hands. Sir, we were hired by her. She said the neighborhood had a private HOA force. She paid us in cash. We thought it was some contracted security job. So, I said quietly, you impersonated law enforcement because she told you to. The short one shook his head frantically. No, she said she had authority. She showed us documents. Karen screamed. They are officers. They work for me. And you, she pointed at me with shaking hands, still have no right to be on my land. My land, I repeated softly. Harold stepped forward. Karen, this is his property. You know that. His family bought this land before this neighborhood even existed. She ignored him completely. She stomped toward me, eyes blazing. You think a shiny badge scares me? She hissed. I run this block. I make the rules. And I decide who lives here. It didn't flinch. Karen said calmly. You crossed a line today. And the moment you brought fake officers onto federal land, her eyes widened. Federal land? I nodded. And you just turned a petty argument into a felony, the taller man whispered, terrified. Ma'am, he's not just federal. He outranks the local police. We have to leave before real agents show up. But Karen's pride drowned her sense. She jabbed her finger at me again. I don't care who you are. I don't care what badge you have. You're not allowed here, and I'm going to prove it, Harold groaned. Oh no, Karen, don't do it. But she did. She yanked a folded paper from her bag marked HOA Declaration Act and slapped it against my chest like it was some sacred decree. The moment it hit me, I knew it wasn't just fake, it was forged. And forging federal property documents is the kind of mistake people don't walk away from. It slid down my chest and fell at my feet. I didn't pick it up. I didn't have to. One look at the crooked, smudged stamp printed on cheap office paper told me everything. Karen lifted her chin proudly. There, legal proof. Now arrest him, or you're both fired. The short fake officer nearly fainted. Ma'am, you can't fire us. We don't even work FO, Karen snapped. Shut up. You work for me. You follow my rules. The tall guy backed away, pointing at the paper on the ground. I'm done, he said. That's a federal badge. And that, his finger shook, is a felony. Karen rolled her eyes. Oh, please. Nobody cares about anything federal. This is my neighborhood. But I heard the tiny crack in her voice. She wasn't as confident as she pretended. Not anymore, I spoke quietly. You really thought printing a fake HOA declaration would give you power over someone's home? Karen lifted her chin defiantly. It worked on the last 3 people. Harold's eyes went wide. You did this to others, Karen? Are you out of your mind? She ignored him completely. She stepped closer to me, poking my chest again. You think hiding behind that badge scares me? You're nothing. I run everything around here. I took a slow breath. You're right about one thing, she smirked. Assuming I was admitting defeat. I do hide behind this badge. Her smirk widened until I finished. Because people like you don't understand anything else. Her smile evaporated instantly. Before she could respond, my phone buzzed a distinct vibration pattern I'd used for years. A silent message. Backup arriving in 30 seconds. The fake officers recognized the sound immediately. Their faces went pale. The tall one whispered, panicked. He called real agents. We need to leave right now, Karen scoffed. I'm not afraid. Let them come. I'll tell them you trespassed. I'll tell them you threatened me. I'll say you forged documents. They'll believe me, not you, Harold muttered. She truly has no idea. But Karen wasn't finished. She stepped back, lifted her chin, and shouted across the street so the whole block could hear. You are under HOA arrest. Officers, restrain him. The 2 fake officers didn't move. They couldn't. Because engines filled the street, quiet, controlled, synchronized. Federal. Karen spun around, confused. Who is that? What are they doing here? I finally answered her, voice steady. That is what happens when you try to arrest someone whose badge outranks every officer you've ever met. She stared at me, shaking. Who are you? I stepped forward just enough. You wanted to know who you were dealing with. You're about to find out. 3 black SUVs glided to a stop, so smoothly it felt like the street went silent to watch. No sirens, no flashing lights, just quiet authority. All doors opened at once. 4 agents stepped out with the kind of precision that made even Harold straighten his posture. Karen's jaw dropped. Who called them? Why are they here? This is my neighborhood. They can't just drive in. Her voice sounded small now, not powerful, terrified. The tall fake officer whispered, "Ma'am, those aren't local cops. Those know what they are." She snapped, but her voice cracked in the middle. One of the agents, Hale, walked straight toward me. He didn't even glance at Karen. "You good, sir?" I nodded. "Yeah, just a misunderstanding." Hale turned to the fake officers. "These the ones?" The tall one instantly raised his hands. "We didn't know." She lied. She said she had authority. She paid us in cash. We thought it was security work. Karen shrieked, "Don't you dare blame this on me. You work for me." Hale's eyebrow twitched. He turned to her. "Ma'am, step back." "No," she screamed. "I want him." She pointed at me, shaking. "Arrested for trespassing, for breaking HOA rules, for..." "There is no HOA here," Hale said flatly. Karen blinked furiously. "Yes, there is. I made one." Hale stared at her like she had just announced she invented the moon. "You made an HOA?" "Yes, and it's official. I printed the declaration myself." Harold slapped his forehead with both hands. "Oh, dear God." Hale bent down, picked up the forged paper, scanned it once, and then looked at me with a smirk. "For the record, this might be the worst forgery I've ever seen." Karen gasped like he struck her. "It is not fake. It has a stamp." "A stamp?" Hale repeated. "From a kid's craft kit." Another agent approached, murmuring into his earpiece. Karen trembled. "What is happening? Why are you acting like I did something wrong?" "I was trying to make the neighborhood better." Hale folded the fake document neatly. "Ma'am, forging federal documentation is a serious offense." Her voice broke. "But I didn't know." Finally stepped in. "You tried to arrest me on my own land. You brought fake officers. You threatened families. You forged legal documents." Her panicked gaze snapped to mine. You can fix this, right? You're important. You have a badge. Just tell them it's fine." I shook my head slowly. "I don't abuse power, Karen. That's your specialty." Her breathing turned quick and uneven. She looked around at Harold, at the agents, at the fake officers sitting on the curb with hands on their heads. Then she whispered what she should have realized days ago. "I didn't know who you were." I stepped closer. "I tried to warn you." She swallowed hard. "Then, who are you?" I held her gaze. "The badge you tried to outranks your entire HOA fantasy." Her knees wobbled, and the next twist hit her before she could even react. Agent Hale tapped his earpiece. "Confirmed. 3 previous complaints. 2 forged notices. 1 attempted false arrest." Karen's face drained. "Complaints? Who complained?" Harold stepped forward, guilt heavy in his voice. "I did. And the Millers. And the Garcias. You threatened all of us. We were just waiting for someone you couldn't bully." Karen shook her head desperately. No, I was helping this neighborhood. I was keeping order." Hale raised a hand. "Ma'am, you're being detained for forgery, impersonation, and attempted coercion under false authority." Her legs buckled. The agents caught her as she broke down, crying, arguing, pleading. She grabbed my sleeve with trembling fingers. "Please, I didn't know. I thought you were just some guy. Please tell them to stop. Please. I only wanted to feel important." I looked at her, the woman who built power out of paper, fear, and lies. What she did wasn't harmless. Families suffered because of her. I gently pulled my sleeve away. "You wanted power, Karen. Now, you're learning what real power looks like." She collapsed into sobs as the agents guided her toward the SUV. She twisted back toward me, shouting through tears, "Who are you? The neighborhood was silent. Even the fake officers stared. I stepped forward, letting the sunlight hit my badge, not to boast, but because truth deserved to be seen. I didn't want to bring this out, I said loudly. Because I'm your neighbor first, and an agent second. Gasps rippled across the street. Harold stumbled back. Karen froze mid-struggle. An agent? I nodded. I protect this country. I protect its land. I protect the people who live on it. Then I looked directly at her. Even from people like you. The SUV door shut. The vehicle pulled away. Just like that, the fake HOA queen lost her kingdom. Harold exhaled shakily. Son, I knew you were calm, but I never knew why. I shrugged. Didn't need anyone to know. One of the agents approached. Good call, not escalating. You handled it perfectly. Just doing my job, I said. Hale smirked. And she just learned the hard way. Your badge doesn't just outrank her rules. It outranks the world she built. As the SUVs rolled away, the entire neighborhood began to breathe again. Kids stepped outside. Doors opened. People waved. The street finally felt light-free. I walked toward my house, stepping onto the land she tried to claim. Under my breath, I said the line that later went viral everywhere. I fought for this land. No paper queen is taking it from me.